We just received a new video of Lance working on his time trial position on the Queen K in Kona, and this is a shot from last year in the Tour of California where I really thought his time trial position looked pretty awful, at least from an aerodynamic standpoint. It might have been good power-wise, but in this position last year we can see that he was sitting at an effective seat angle of 74 degrees or so, and that his torso was fairly upright in the mid-teens. And if I'm setting up even a long course triathlete, I consider a torso angle like this to be just okay. And if you look at the guys in my Kona video, the top pros are all sub 10 degrees for sure, and many of them are far flatter than this, and hence the wind not seeing any of the front of their torso. Now, there are other ways around this, keeping the elbows spaced together, and I'm sure they worked on this in the wind tunnel at that time and decided that maybe it was the best compromise between aerodynamics and power. But we see on this video from this year that he's radically changed the position. And I'm not sure exactly when, if this is something that just happened this year or whether it happened over the course of last year, and I don't have a good shot of Lance from later in the season. But the other thing we can look at here is the amount of drop. I estimate this at about 11 centimeters, 10 to 11 centimeters on this bike. If we then look at the video that came out this morning, we can see a large difference in the position here. Lance has rotated forward and down into a much more typical forward time trial position, much like a triathlete, much like an excellent triathlete position really here. And I think it's fairly obvious that you can see that the aerodynamics should be much improved. If you watch the video linked above, you can see there's he gets good laminar flow all the way down to about here, all the way over the crest of his back, all the way down to here. He's getting good laminar flow. The head position here is far lower. So here, the entire head is adding to his frontal area pretty much, whereas here the head is below the back. So from a frontal area perspective, the head is really not adding to the frontal area at all. And we can see that some of these parameters that have changed, this has essentially gone down to near zero here on the front. The drop has extended to what I estimate to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 17 centimeters, 15 to 17 centimeters here, and the seat angle has moved to an effective seat angle of something in the neighborhood of 77 degrees or so, maybe even 78, depending on exactly where you want to drop. The point being that he's now in a forward position, and one of the ways he is accomplishing this clearly is through the use of an Adamo saddle. Adamo saddle he's got an Adamo Road model on here. Adamo saddle is missing 4 to 5 centimeters of the nose, so when you place the Adamo in a UCI legal maximum forward position of 5 centimeters behind the bottom bracket, it is approximately the equivalent of having a normal saddle with the nose directly over the bottom bracket, which is a very typical forward triathlete or TT position. So he has, I think the saddle has allowed him, facilitated him getting further forward into the 77 to 78 degree angle, and in what looks like clearly a much more aero position. So hopefully this will make Lance a lot faster this year in the time trials.